Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to change the rear wheel bearings in your Prime Black Edition 38 carbon clincher rear wheel. So let's go ahead, let's take a look. So here we have the wheel, Black Edition Prime 38. Quick release rear hub, as you can see. So all we've done is remove the cassette off of there, so remove your cassette as you normally would, and then what you need for this is, initially you want two Allen key hex heads, 5mm, both of them are. So what you want to do is put one in one side in the end cap, like that, and then one on the opposite side. Then all you do is hold one side and undo the other one. So if I hold on to this side and undo the opposite side anti-clockwise to undo it, like that. So we've undone the end cap. I'll just turn it round so you can see it. So you've undone that. That comes off. You've got the cap, and then you've got the like a washer behind it that covers the bearing, like that. That comes off, and be careful because in the middle of that there, the silver piece in the centre there, that actually can come off separately. It's like a washer there, so be careful when you pull that off that that silver bit in the middle doesn't fall out and roll away on the floor, and then when you go to put it back together you wonder why you got a problem. So be careful, that silver bit is there. So once we've done that, then what we need to do is remove the other side. So all we do is put a 10mm Allen key hex head in this side. Now the end cap's removed, so you can hold that side with that, like that, and then undo the other side, the free hub side. So we just hold on the 10mm, and then we'll undo this one anti-clockwise. That's the end cap off of there, so that's just an end cap on its own on this side, like that. So now that's all removed. See, what you can do is you slide off your free hub body like that. So you slide that off, put that one side, and then you see there's a spacer on the axle there. So you want to slide that spacer off again. Just put that one to one side, and then we got bearing down in there that you can see on the free hub side, and then you can see the one just in there on this end on the non-drive side. So what we do, we go ahead and get those out. So what we've got on the floor is two blocks of wood equal heights. I'm just showing you like this. Obviously if you've got a bench, sturdy bench, put a couple of bits of wood on a bench and do it like that. Obviously we're using wood there so it protects the hub, it's not getting damaged or anything. And then what you do is put them apart slightly, so as when you put the wheel down like that, it's got room because the bearing's going to come out down that way towards the floor. So what you do is hit on the axle here and then remove that bearing out of the non-drive side, pushing it, hitting it down. So you want to hit that with a soft blow hammer, rubber mallet on the end, don't damage the end of the axle. So we hit that down through. So there's a bearing and the axle like that. Just slide that on through. So now you're left with the wheel like that, with just the bearing in where the free hub would have been, this side. That one's been removed, as you can see. So now we need to go ahead and remove this one. So what we'll do now is we'll place the hub down on the free hub side to get that bearing out, and then all you do is get yourself a 13mm socket. You can use a long one, an extension on it if you want to, or a short one with a longer extension, just so you can put it down the centre of the hub like that, and it just rests on the bearing in the bottom. and then you can just hit down on that and knock that bearing out. So there's the bearing. So now we've got an empty hub completely. So all you do now is get and clean up inside your hub where the bearings are going to sit, make sure that's all cleaned out, and then get yourself a couple of new bearings ready to reinstall. Right, so now we're ready to go ahead and put a couple of new bearings in. So you just want to put some grease around where the bearing's going to sit in the hub. This is the obviously the free hub side. Just do that, and we do the same on the opposite side. Just put a light coat on there. Now what we're going to do is we need to put in the free hub side first, because the axle has to go through, so you can't put both in at the same time. So you've got the axle sticking out this side, so it's best just to put the one bearing in at a time. So all we do is, the bearing sizes will be in the description of the video if you want to know what they are. And all we do is get a bearing like that for the two different sizes. So this is the free hub side. Just put some grease over the face that you're not going to see. They'll be inside the hub, so you won't see it. Put some grease over there, just helps keep the moisture out of the bearing. So once you've done that, you can just sit that down in there where it's going to go for a moment. And then we get the press. Obviously what you need is the correct size adapter for the press for the particular bearing to put it in with. So what we're going to use is on the opposite side, we just got a blanking adapter there that will just go over the end of the hub. So when we put that through like that, it's going to sit over the hub like that, because we're not actually putting a bearing in that side at the moment. We just need to get this one in so we can put the axle back through. So we've got that in position. And we can go ahead and press that one in. So we just wind that in till it stops moving, and then that's it. So we just back the tool out. There's the bearing installed on this side, so now we can put the axle back through and then do the other bearing. So with your axle just there where the bearing's going to sit, when you push it back through, just put some grease around there like that, and then I'll just put a little bit there as well while we can get to it, and then we push that back through. Obviously it goes through the bearing you just put in, so put it down inside like that, and then it stick out the other side like that. See where your free hub goes. Then we can do this bearing on the end here. So what you do again before you fit that one, I'll just put a little bit of grease around it on the side you don't see. Put a little bit of grease around the outside, and then all you do then is just slide that over the end there, just rests in place on there. You might just be able to push it slightly just so it holds it in position there. Then we can go ahead and get that one in. So on this side, this bearing, obviously you see the axle sticking out there, so if you haven't got the right tool for it, so obviously you can't use a bearing press there to push that in because the axle's in the way. So if you haven't got something like that that fits over there, the correct size to push it in with the hole in the middle for the axle, then I'll just show you another way you can do it, just in case So you want 2 blocks of wood equal heights, and then put the hub down with the axle sticking down like that through the centre. So you get that in there like that, and then rest it on there like that. And then all you do is get an 18mm socket, 18mm, which is the same size outside the bearing. So you put that on there and hold that in place like that, and then all you do is gently tap that down in on the top. Make sure you're holding it and just tap that in, because the bearing hasn't got to go in very far in that side. So that's one way of doing it. Obviously if you haven't got the correct adapter for it. So there we have the left hand bearing installed. So we can go ahead now and put the Freehub body back on and the end caps. So before we refit the Freehub body, just put some grease over your axle, and you can refit your spacer over there like that. Best thing to do is put some grease over that spacer as well, like that. And then you can slide your Freehub body back on. Make sure, if you need to, clean up the pulls on there and re-grease them as well with a little bit of grease over them. Make sure they're working properly. You slide that in position and just pop it back in like that. And then you can refit the end cap on this side. So that just will screw on there clockwise. So you just hold your finger on the other side just to get it going like that. And then what you need is your 5mm. Hold this side like that to put in there, and your 10mm on the other side in the axle, and just nip this side up like that till it stops. And then we can do this side. So what we do is, before we put this one on, just put some grease over the bearing on this side, and the washer will come off. I'll just put some grease over that as well, and then we'll pop that back on, and then get the end cap. Just start that, see, clockwise, and then all we do is hold the Freehub side 5mm, and then get the 5mm in this side and just nip this one up while we're holding this one. Just nip that down like that. So that's everything reinstalled there. So you're ready to go ahead and refit that back in your bike. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe, and I'll see you then.